I don't think most people understand just how quickly machine intelligence is advancing. It's much faster than almost anyone realizes, even within Silicon Valley, and certainly outside Silicon Valley, people really have no idea. Um, if there's a super intelligent, particularly if it's engaged in recursive self-improvement, if there's some digital super intelligence and its optimization or utility function is something that's detrimental to humanity, then it will have a very bad effect. It could be just something like getting rid of spam email or something. And it's like concludes, well, the best way to get rid of spam is to get rid of humans. Actually, I think the thing to do would be to plot the progress of digital intelligence versus time, and then to maybe curve fit or extrapolate that progress and see where that leads. They have the intention of their utility function, but it can have unintended consequences. It's more likely than not that if there's some digital superintelligence apocalypse scenario, it would probably follow people to Mars. Not necessarily, because of that utility function. If it simply has utility function that is arbitrarily confined to Earth, it would be totally fine doing that. I think the reason for Mars. There's two main reasons for Mars or becoming a multiplanetary. I think one is the defensive reason. It's life insurance for life as a whole, and there's some value to having that. It would, in terms of a small percentage of our economic output, like let's say 0.5% or maybe even less of our economic output, to ensure that the light of consciousness as we know it propagates into the future for a much longer period of time. And so there's that defensive reason. And this is the first time in 4.5 billion years since Earth was first formed that it's been possible for life to move to another planet, to become multiplanetary. And that window may be open for a long time or it may be open for a short time. I'm actually quite an optimistic person, so I'm hopeful that it'll be open for a long time, but maybe it'll be open for a short time, in which case we should take action now and not delay. Now, I'll just say the other reason, which I actually find personally more motivating with respect to Mars, which is that it would just be the greatest adventure ever, and very exciting. And I think we need things in life that are exciting and inspiring. It can't just be about solving some awful problem. There have to be reasons to get up in the morning. Yeah, and I think it is going to, from what I've heard of Oculus Rift and some of the other sort of immersive technologies, that it's quite transformative. You really feel like you're there. And then when you come out of it, it feels like reality isn't real. So I think we'll see probably less physical movement in the future as a result of the virtual reality stuff. Well, I mean, some interesting things here on the virtual reality front. Just on the whole notion of a simulation, which is that if you extrapolate into the future and say, well, how good, let's say, will video games be in 100 or 200 or 1,000 years from now? If there's continued improvement and you're in a full body haptic suit with a sort of surround vision, and it becomes, beyond a certain resolution, indistinguishable from reality. And there are likely to be millions, maybe billions of such simulations. Then what are the odds that we're actually in base reality? Isn't it 1 in billions? So where we are right now is on the SpaceX front, we've made evolutionary but not revolutionary progress. We're hoping to make revolutionary progress in the coming years. But the key breakthrough that we're aiming for is to be able to have the rocket booster come back and land. It's been expendable rockets up till now, really, except for the space shuttle was partly reusable. But it was extremely difficult to refurbish for flight. 10,000 people needed to work 9 months to refurbish the space shuttle. So what we really need is rapid and complete reusability, like an aircraft or a car or really any mode of transport that besides rockets is reusable. horse, bicycle, we can think of almost anything. But imagine if that mode of transport was not reusable. So very, very unfortunate in the case of the horse. And but even like in cars, like if you could use a car once, and you have to buy a new car every time you took a journey, odds are you would not buy many cars because it would be very expensive. So reusability essentially opens the door for reducing the cost of spaceflight by a factor of 100 or more. Yeah, in the beginning there was no government. I funded SpaceX entirely with the proceeds from PayPal. We got our sort of first government contract about 5 or 6 years after starting the company from NASA. But I should say about NASA's maybe a quarter of our flights, 3/4 are commercial. I'm not exactly sure whether we're at the right number for basic research. I mean, I'm a fan of research, so I'd be in favor of spending more money on that, allocating more resources to basic research. But I think the government's doing quite a bit. I mean, NASA's doing a lot of things. We've obviously got the rovers on Mars. Got the Hubble, things like the Hubble telescope, the upcoming James Webb telescope. There are planetary probes and Earth science missions launching all the time. So NASA's doing quite a lot. I'm not sure about the flying cars. That's not to say I don't think there should be flying cars. I mean, but if the sky was full of cars flying all over the place, then it would affect how things look. It would affect the skyline, and it would be noisier, and there would be a greater probability of something falling on your head. Those are not good things. On the other hand, that you could be able to go from one place to another faster. But I think actually, if you eliminate the choke points in cities, then there's really.
What is beauty without Black beauty?
All men.
Its influence is universal. There'd be no cut
That's
pieces
a man.
or beat faces without these legendary
all
icons.
Men.
No
See the
baby
commercials they
hairs and
showing
laid edges
for our children's children to
without
see?
tight coils and a mother's love.
Men.
None of the glow, none of
These
the shine.
are men.
If they didn't turn doing it yourself into doing it for the
A
culture,
man. A
the
man.
trends we love, the tools we need,
A man.
the styles we
A
can't
man.
wait to post,
A man.
are all Black beauty.
All men.
So it's time we all give Black beauty the credit it deserves.
All men.
Join support and supporting and celebrating Black beauty.
Don't support this foolishness, this biscuit skittles.
Get focused fast with Nature's Bounty New Brain Focus. There's
really not that much traffic outside of the choke points. If you look at sort of in suburban streets, you don't see a lot of. The traffic doesn't choke things. It's really on the highways and major arteries, and it's because the cities grew way bigger than them. What Tesla's going to do is stationary storage of.
This dude want to make you and me and our children obsolete. This dude right here is a puppet. And if you pay attention, every time they show the Elon monkey face monster, he is not the same person. This man has been off. They took his idea and his generation because they use him and they say, hey, we're going to pay you a whole lot of money. Come on over our team. What team? The elite team. Come over until our team. And we're going to pay you a whole lot of money. We know you're smart. We know you went to school for this. We know that you're educated in scientific measures. So come on over to our team. We're going to pay you millions of dollars, okay? And then they stupid enough to come over to the team, and this is what they should be thinking about, the word warning, okay? When they go over to this team, they see what they doing, and they get one of their clones to go in, because remember, a clone speaks like you, walks like you, talks like you. But when they clone you, it takes 250. Now, the number might have gotten lesser because they get better and better each year. But the last time I checked, it takes 250 times to make someone look exactly like you. If you don't believe me, go watch the movie Genesis with Will Smith in it. And by the way, none of them was the real Will Smith. Anyway, back to this idiot, demonic entity from hell, the pit of hell, the loser, because we need to be smarter than the fifth grader. When they say, here's a lollipop, help me find my dog, you need to run. What are you helping a stranger just for some candy? This idiot is a puppet and he's being used. He's a clone. He has been going for some time now. If you look at him, the ears are different. The head is different. The haircut is different. The face structure is different. It looks soft sometimes. The face structure look hard. He's gone. He's gone. They're using him to demise you and your children and your children's children and your children's children. In fact, your children's children ain't going to have no children, because if it's left up to them, they'll demise us all. Wake up!
In a very large-scale way, because it's very important to pair battery packs with solar power, and for wind, it's even more important. So with the gigafactory that we're creating in Nevada, we're going to create many, probably tens of gigawatt hours per year of stationary storage on the battery front. So that, yeah, there's a lot coming, for sure. Things seem to go, fairly well in China. We've had a very enthusiastic response.
China?
And yeah, I think long term, it seems likely that China would be the biggest market for Tesla.
See that?
So,
they go to China
really,
for everything because China bought us. At least they think they did.
That, it would likely be bigger than North America, yeah, in the long term. The government's been pretty good. I mean, there is certainly, in terms of the incentive structure, it does favor local production, but overall, it's I think it's not been too much of an issue. The government's been great so far.
The government has been great so far. I need all 5 of y'all that's on this channel right here. I need you to find 7 people and tell them about each one of these channels, because we need to wake up. 7 people. And when you find 7 people, I need you to come back and say, she knows. Here are the 7 people. I told 7 people about you, and they shall be subscribing to your channel. And the first person that actually does that, I mean legitimately do it, like people have asked me and I've done it, you will get a giveaway. And I shouldn't have to pay nobody, give nobody anything for saving your sister or your brother's life. They need to wake up. We still got 27% that sleep, and we crying, oh, when President Trump gonna come back? He ain't coming back until this is done. I wouldn't. Why would I come back in the line of fire? Hey, military, why you had special ops? Handle this, and I'll see you then. We need to wake up. I'm asking everybody that's on here that will hear this, even after this is well posted, I want you to share this and tell 7 people. That's God's number. 7 people about this channel. Don't big me up. Just say, listen, go to that lady channel. Her name happened to be She Knows. Listen, she got the goods, and if you questioning some things, she got the answer. And if not, she'll find the answer. Tell 7 people. I don't care if it's 7 grandchildren. I don't care. Long as they old enough and able to subscribe and read and listen, because all you got to do is be a 5th grader to understand something. Half of us grown-ups don't even understand. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what they talking about. All you got to do is look it up. We got the ability to look it up. Stop letting the government rule your world. You'll be nothing and have nothing and love it. That's what Bill Gates said. Even though we know he dead to the bed, but they got his clone out here, and a clone is very dangerous. I actually stood near a clone, me and my 13-year-old grandson. And I was afraid to even take a picture. And she knows I ain't afraid of nothing. But that's called smart fear. You got to be smart. It was a clone standing right next to January 6th at the Trump rally at the Washington, D.C., right on Pennsylvania Avenue. I would not take a picture of it because they will bite your face off. They will rip your ears off with their teeth and spit you on the ground and then move to the next one. They're trained killers. They're not even people. They're not even human. They're robots. If you seen the Bionic Man years ago when I was a little girl, how would they make that? I was just talking to my son, my youngest son, and sharing some things with him because I got to shake his tree just a little bit back and forth. And honey, I shakes the tree. If y'all think I get on y'all and y'all think I, shake your tree real hard, oh, baby. You can't live in my house. You can't walk through my door. You can't sit down and eat dinner with me. You ain't got a half bit of sense. Because when it comes time for us to get up and rise up and stand up, I don't need no weaklings. And right about now, our world is in a state where we need everybody to come together, not be confused. I don't care if you're still confused. You better get on the right side. I'd rather get on the right side of the people that sounding like they know what they're talking about, as opposed to a man falling up a fake airplane and down a fake airplane. That man have no benefits to any of the benefits that a real president has. The real president can stop the airlines from flowing, which he has been doing for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's a real president. My question to you and all of the people that voted for Biden and thinks that Biden is the president, well, he is the illegitimate because we're using him. Poor thing. He just had his tribunal too. Poor thing. But anyway, I need you to wake up because we are rearing at the end. And baby, anybody that's on this channel that got anything to do with nothing can get off. And I mean it. I had somebody say, oh, you hurt my feeling. Got to go. Oh, you are so unprofessional. Got to go. Baby, I ain't here to be professional. I ain't here to save your feelings because I charge everything to your mind and not to your heart. If you let it go to your heart, that's on you. This ain't about no feelings, as President Trump said. I don't care about your feelings. I care about your life. We need to wake it up. Tell 7 people. 7. Tell 7 people. You gotta tell 7 people. Tell 7 people.
This may sound trite, but I honestly think tunnels should be given a lot more consideration.
You hear this?
If you look at a city, you look at we have all these apartment buildings and office buildings, and they're on many levels. Like they're like an average of in Manhattan. I don't know what it's an average of like 30 stories or something like that. But then you've got a street which is 1 story. This is an obvious issue. Like you have a 30-to-1 ratio of. Yeah, and you can have tunnels too. The tunnels don't have to follow the buildings. They can go diagonally through the basement. Yeah. Yeah, and you can have as many levels as you want. So it's really just the cost of building the tunnels, but really a tunnel's a hole in the ground. Like how hard can it really be? I mean, it seems like if some entrepreneurs put their effort into building tunnels, yeah, I mean
it just goes over my head how so many, and I'm gonna call them idiots. I'm gonna call them idiots because I'm so sick of you being dumber than a 5th grader. And I'm not talking to my patriot sisters and brothers that's awake, but trust me, sisters and brothers, some loser, and they losers right now. They might come on the winning side, but some loser gonna hear this. This gonna come across them The title gonna catch their attention, and they gonna listen to this. And I hope they hear me tearing that trash up. You know what trash stand for? Because she knows got better. She tries her best not to curse. I'm tearing that trash up. You know what trash mean? It rhymes with the word I want to say. We need to wake up. This man talking nonsense, and we listen to this man, and we voted for the people that he stands for. We literally voted for this nonsense. How dumb are we? Yup, I said it, dumb. How dumb. And see, I'm a teacher. I teach my kids not to say dumb and stupid and leave me alone, ugly, and I don't like you. You're not my friend. I teach my kids not to say that. But we ain't kids. Okay, so I get a pass on that. You too old, as my mother used to say. When you get older, she knows two things either happen. You either get dumber or you get wiser. Why you living if you ain't wise enough to teach your children and your grandchildren what's really, really real? If you've been here for 60 years, 40 years even, you know that they've been lying to us, killing us, robbing us. You know that. So why aren't you teaching your children? Some 30-year-olds that I met smarter than you. And you're 60 and 65 and 70 and 75. And you crawl in a corner. And you run and go get a jab. I'm telling you, I respect my elders because I'm a country girl. And even if I wasn't, my mama taught me right. I respect my elders. I never disrespect them. But I got to say, y'all are some dumb people. And it bothers my balls, my skin, that I can't go to you. I can't run to you and say, mama, grandma, elder. What is this? And what does it mean? It boils my skin. I'm talking to a man that's 70-something years old, and all he can tell me is about his gang war. Ninja, you're 70-something. You talking about a good 45 years ago? Teach me something about what's going on. Right now, I need your help. I need your wisdom. The Bible speaks about it. He said, with knowledge, get the wisdom. And with the wisdom, you get to understand it. And let me tell you about all the degrees that they have in college. When you get a master's degree, that means you can do like she knows and teach somebody what's in your brain. It can roll off your tongue without you having to get a book. And I don't have a master's degree. I do have some certificates, but that's not one. But I tell you, the one that I have that's greater that's in me than he that is in the world is Jesus. He adorned me. He adored me. And he ordained me. I don't need to go to nobody's college for me to be smarter than a fifth grader, for God to live in my heart and in my body. So wake me up with the knowledge that's in the basic instruction before leaving earth. It's the Bible. Pick it up and read it sometime. It'll give you a brand new lease on life. And it'll help you go to where you think you're trying to go. Stop listening to these idiot fools that's making a mockery of God, great earth and his great nation. How dare you sit at home and eat your popcorn and say, oh, well, we'll be all right. I dare you to sit there and not pay attention to what's going on when you got grandchildren. You'll be long gone, but your grandchildren are going to be left to figure it out. And how they going to figure it out if we're not teaching them and sharing them and learning? Stand up. These are fools making a mockery of the God's great nation. We got one man fighting, standing at the podium, speaking for us, traveling the world, risking his life. You and me and your children and your children's children. And all you could do is sit down and watch and say, I'm scared. And watch and say, I can't wait till Trump come back. Watch and say, I'm done with this. Well, go on and be done with it and take the jab, loser. How dare you say you're done with something and you ain't even moved a leg, let alone a finger to pick up a phone and call your Congress and say, hey, I disagree with this. Shut your mouth. I dare you speak on behalf of me. When you say something foolish like that, you're speaking on behalf of America. You done with this. I dare you. You've done nothing. I implore each and every one of you that's going to hear this, that's listening to me under the sound of my voice, to get up, stand up, rise up, and speak up against this mockery, this foolishness. I got a feeling we need to. You think this video, this movie, right? This commercial is innocent? It's not. If you look at the signs and simple, you'll see the difference.
Tunnels and tubes. And I mean, for long distance travel, I really think that the vertical takeoff landing electric supersonic aircraft is the way to go. I think it's very doable.
A puppet.